Hello, everyone. Namaste. Welcome to Light, Laughter, and Lattes. My name is Geri Habstritt. I'm an Avesa quantum healer and medical intuitive, and your host today for Light, Laughter, and Lattes. Welcome, everyone, to Oneness Talk Radio. I am so glad to be with you here all today. And typically I start at 4, so I'm a little late today. So forgive me. If you are here with me live via Oneness Talk Radio Facebook or YouTube, jump in the chat and say hello so I know who's all here. Yes, hi, Batya. Glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And so, welcome everyone on this day after this full goddess super moon. I guess it was also called a strawberry moon or a rose moon. Wow, was it powerful! It was a big day for me yesterday. I'm guessing it was a big day for you as well. And so I thought I would have a show today about clarity and cultivating clarity. That is something I have been working on for years. And these full moons are really good at offering you clarity. One thing the full moon does is that it's the energy in its fullness. So it reveals to you what you're full of. So if you were in ecstatic joy yesterday, then yay, that's what you're full of. If stuff came up for healing, then that's what you're also full of. And so it's offering you the opportunity to forgive it, heal it, do whatever you need to release that to bring yourself into greater joy. So these full moons are beautiful at offering clarity. And so, so what is clarity? What is clarity at the core? I think for many of us, especially if you're listening to this show, I know for me, clarity is all about knowing to go at the very core. I think many of us have had lifetimes where it didn't end very well. And a lot of us, especially those that are the healers and the musicians and more than that. But we were there thinking, okay, if we can lift in time, if we can become enlightened in time, if we can lift seat enough, fast enough, we can assist the planet to stabilize so it doesn't end bad. So I know I have a memory of this and wasn't able to make it in time, wasn't able to do what needed to be done in time. So if you're one of those people who has issues with time, worrying about getting there in time, doing things the right way, or a nervousness about which way do I go, like a deer in the headlight, which way do I go, right? That all stems way back to that. So the clarity is often, hey, now I need to know what way to get me to my path faster, or what way are the best decisions I can take, or the action steps that I can move through to get me to the life of my dreams. But there's many paths to take. And so which one, for me, it's always which one's the quickest, which one's the easiest, which one's the kindest. And those are all questions of clarity. So where does the energy of clarity reside? So there's actually places in our body that when they're clear, we are clear. So the energy of clarity resides, first of all, in the sacral chakra, which is the second chakra. It is, like maybe an inch below your belly button. And this is the area where the changes of life happen, when we move and flow through the changes of life, effortlessly or not, right? And it's also where we hold our past relationships. And so that is a rich spot. I talk about this place often. So any unforgivenesses, any pains, any holding on to the past and not being able to let go, any difficulty with change, all of those energies are stored in that area of the body. Another place that it is affected, and this area is directly tied to our sixth chakra, which is our eyes or our vision, and that's where the clarity is associated as well. So it's mainly the second chakra and the sixth. They're kind of tied together. And the sixth chakra is a lot about our belief systems and our family of origin. So, what was carried on to you as you were being raised, as you grew up, that may be a filter to stop your clarity. In all truth, we are unlimited beings. We are pure love. We are pure light. That is the truth. So any filters that were placed upon that are filters that block the clarity, their belief systems. And so you will see oftentimes, young children having to wear glasses very early in their life. And so those are signs of, what is it they are not wanting to see, or what is in that family of origin that is blocking the clarity, maybe. So there can be different reasons for that around the clarity. So if um, and this would be more the seventh chakra, but if you were born into a strict, maybe religious system, or maybe a strict community, or maybe a strict social system, any of those things that in place any rules on you that are limit your your limitlessness. Those are all little filters that you place upon the clarity of you. And those are things that reside in the sixth chakra. So together, they kind of limit or block the clarity. And as you release all of that stuff and you come back to the truth, you come back to your purity, to your knowing, to your wholeness, you become clearer and clearer and clearer. And your vision then actually shifts. So how energy flows, and if you've ever had iridology done before, I had this done, boy, when I was, I think, in sixth grade. And it's a fabulous study of the reading of your eyes. So they have an iridologist has an eye chart, and I'm not going to show you the eye chart because I might have a difficulty bringing it up here. But it actually shows the meridians of the body. So all of the organs in the body actually have a meridian that goes right up into the eyes. So a iridologist could look at your eyes and see where there's spots that aren't clear or fuzzy or discolored, and can tell if where the issues are in your organs. And maybe not even an issue, but it's like a congestion, right? So and energy just is meant to flow, and it has frequency. And if we were all to stay in a state of peace, love, joy, okay with change, this thing happened, okay, so what? Kind of like a dog, you just shake it off and wag your tail. The energy would always just keep flowing and you would stay clear, right? But that it doesn't happen that way. We have experiences, we have hurts, we have, people die and you're sad and it's hard to let go. There's any number of things that happen to us along our life's journey. And when those lower frequency energies like anger and unforgiveness and past hurts and pain and judgments, all of those things have a lower frequency that actually causes a congestion in the body. And so when that energy congests, and usually in the second or the sixth chakra, it creates a little block there. So when the energy tries to flow up through the feet and rise up, it will actually hit those congestions in the organs, and it'll reflect out into the eyes. And so that is how an iridologist can read what is happening in the body and what is happening with your organs. And each of these congestion areas literally block your clarity. And so if you think about it, if there is a person that, I don't know, every time they drive a certain route, they get in an accident, right? They now have a issue around that, and you can even say PTSD or whatever. And so now their clarity is coming from the perspective, well, every time I drive this way, I get in an accident. True story, but it has been true for them. And so they base their future just on the past experiences because their clarity has been blocked. And so that's how to keep repeating the past. And that's decisions from a lack of clarity based on unhealed experience. Okay, so I was born with really, really kind of like ice eyes. And when I was in 5th grade, I had rheumatic fever. I was in the hospital for like a week. It was really big. At that time, my eyes turned to the color green. And I know this happens a lot. There's lots of children that are born with really blue eyes, and then over the life, their color of their eyes shift. And my knowing is that these congestions in the body, if you're seeing, or if someone were able to draw your auric field, it would be all of these colors. Congestions in the body show up as a black or brown or a muddyish, yellow or gray, kind of those colors. So when those organs or areas get congestion and the light's in, that energy comes up and reflects into the eye, usually as like a yellowish. So if you mix blue with the yellow congestion, the eyes then become green. So I don't know if anyone is actually born with green eyes or not. I know in my case, it happened through experiences in my life and my eyes shift. Now, as I've been doing healing on myself and getting more clear and more clear, my eyes are getting back to blue again. Now green, and sometimes they kind of change with the colors I wear. And that would be the same for someone who has hooded eyelids. And I know many people would say, well, that just happens when you get older. No, that's a belief system that all of these things happen to you as you age. No, it has nothing to do with your age. It has to do with life. It's just a lot of life experiences that went unhealed caused these things to happen. And so I did something kind of fun because back when I moved to Boise, Idaho in 2014, I have a picture of myself, like a selfie that I took. And then I had lots of experiences that were challenging for me. I went to court for 7 years. And the last year in 2017, I had a really, really challenging experience, and I was at rock bottom. And a year after that, and that's usually after you have a traumatic experience, it takes about a year for those unhealed energies to visually show up in your body or in your eyes, right? And then I took a picture of myself now. And I'm going to grab that picture and I'm going to put it up right now. Okay, so this is just kind of fun just to show you, and I'm going to get it a little bigger. So that's me in 2015 where I clearly had eyelids. 2018, you can see I have hooded eyes. You can't even see that I have eyelids. And this is a professional photo that was touched up. And this was a year after I'd hit rock bottom. And even though I had done lots of healing work constantly on myself, I still had hooded eyes, meaning my vision was clouded, literally to the point where my eyes were being shut, right? I lost my clarity based on all the trauma and hurts I was holding in my body. And so this last photo, 2022, is just a month ago, and I have my eyelids back again. And actually, my eye color has shifted to a lighter blue-green color. And, I am 4 years older than I was in 2022. So if hooded eyelids are something that happens with age, it should be the opposite. My eyes should be more shut instead of shifting. So I just wanted to show you all an example of, you know, the belief systems we carry around aging. You can be brilliantly clear, you can be wrinkle free, and you could have no glasses. And now I do want to mention that if you are actively going through the ascension process and lifting in frequency, your eyes do shift often. And when it comes to reading, you may need 3 or 4 different kinds of glasses to assist you with that. So that's a little bit different than the clarity I'm talking to you about. And so I want to read your bot just says, you have hazel, and when I'm having a good day or in the state of flow, light blue. Oh my goodness. So your eyes change day to day. Yeah. And you know how many people are really aware of what their eyes are doing and shifting, but they do reflect. They do reflect what's going on in that second chakra. And that second chakra is also all about flow, right? Water, clarity. So it ties so beautifully. So how do you know if you're clear? You may not even know. I thought I was pretty clear in that first photo in 2015, and even though I didn't have the hooded eyelids, I wasn't really that clear yet. My eyes are a significantly different color now and a lot brighter than they were then. So, one of the ways you can tell is by trying to imagine your perfect day. And not even trying to imagine your perfect day, but imagine your greatest dream. Where are you living? What are you wearing? Who are you with? Can you imagine that? Can you see that? And then can you expand that dream and make it bigger? Right? Can you go beyond the limitations of what you think is possible and see yourself in an even bigger dream, right? Can you see yourself doing things that you never imagined, living in places you never imagined, having experiences that you've never imagined? Can you see yourself in a completely unlimited state doing these things? So many people who have lost their clarity and vision have a really hard time doing that. And that's how you'll know. If it's really effortless and easy for you, you're doing great with your clarity. If it's a challenge, then there's things you can do to help make it easier to cultivate your clarity. Um, I want to give an example of this, dreaming bigger. I was with a friend giving him a ride home a few weeks ago, and we drove by this beautiful neighborhood with great, big, gorgeous houses. And I asked him, I said, can you see yourself living in a house like that? And he said, no, I absolutely can't. I can't even imagine it. I can't even put myself there. He said he grew up in a very minimal way. His family was, lower class, I guess you would say. And he said, I can't do it. And he asked me if I could do it. And I said, yes, I can do it. I can absolutely do it, but it took some work. When I was in the state where you saw where I had the really hooded eyes, I challenged myself by going for a walk in a really upscale, gorgeous neighborhood. And I had a hard time walking. Every step I felt like I didn't deserve. I wasn't good enough. I didn't belong. And I literally cried my way through the walk because I could not see myself there. It was easier to see myself, literally in a shack or even on the streets at that point in my life. So that was one of the ways that I helped cultivate my clarity, by pushing myself into the uncomfortable spot of walking through an area that made me feel uncomfortable, but I knew I need to do it because I knew that I'm unlimited. I know that I'm a creator. I know that I can create anything, right? And so that's how you can kind of gauge yourself where you're at. And if you're having a hard time doing this, bring up some shows on TV. They have like dream builders, house builders, dreaming big, whatever, vacation shows, whatever it is, sporting events. Watch something that is way beyond your list imagination and get used to that. And then start putting yourself in the picture. Or I found it's even easier if I go to the space or a space that's what I want to create and sit there and imagine, in that yard, doing that act, working at this spot, whatever it may be. It's sometimes easier to take yourself and start to vision from that place. So how to cultivate clarity? There's a number of ways. Journaling is a fabulous way. And a lot of people don't like to journal, but as soon as you start putting pen to paper, and you can journal about whatever, but I would go into a healing session where something done you wrong, where you've had a trauma, where you've had a hard experience. Maybe it was the past with your family and how you were raised. Start journaling. Try find what good came out of the experience. Key to find good. And you might have to dig really hard. If you had a really challenging thing happen or something, you might be saying there's nothing good there. But trust me, if you can find anything good, maybe it was the ability to fight back. If you can cultivate the gems or the gift of experience, that helps to cultivate clarity. It helps to bring about the ahas, and the ahas literally go in and free that energy. It will burst and it'll offer you a healing and it'll offer you more clarity. So journaling, going to up into the mountains, perspective, even like being in an airplane, problems seem smaller when you're in an airplane looking down on them. Airplanes or the mountains are a great actually to journal there and get clarity from higher perspective, and that will offer you clarity. And as well as the ocean is so fantastically healing, because the ocean or that water energy is directly correlated to that sacral chakra, which is holding a lot of those congestions that are blocking the clarity. And I know my parents used to go on a lot of cruises, and every time my mom would get back from a cruise, she would tell me how she got sick on the ocean. Every time she's like, I don't know why I get sick every time I go on a cruise. And I shared with her that because the ocean offers that sacral chakra healing energy. And if you're open to receiving that, the ocean will help heal you, and it'll show up as a stomach ache. It'll show up as maybe the flu. It'll show up as something where you don't feel good, and it'll offer you healing and it'll offer you clarity. Emotional freedom technique. Fantastic. It's also called tapping. So you can go online and learn how to do this, or you can message me. I do EFT with people, or you can find someone else who does it. But that directly goes into those areas that haven't been healed. It offers them love and forgiveness, and it's tapping on those meridians that I was talking about and freeze the energy. One of the things I did is part of my journey was that I had to move away from my youngest son. He was just on his way into 6th grade, and that was extremely traumatic for me. And once I got settled in Idaho, where I live now, one of the things I did was got a substitute teaching job so that I could go into the school system and be around other boys and girls that were his age. And this was extremely hard for me, and I knew it would, because it's constantly triggering that sadness. But I knew that I had to face it and walk straight into it in order to heal it. So literally the first 6 months of teaching, I would have to go out to my car every lunch break and cry. And every day after school, I would cry. And I continued to do this. It got less and less and less. Finally, it was just at the end of the year, when the year ended and everyone left, that I would cry. But that was one of the ways that helped me heal that experience, was by walking straight into it and agreeing to being with the triggers. Because the triggers, though painful, are the gift. The triggers are what trigger the energy to free it, to offer you the clarity. Screaming, crying, throwing things when you get emotional. Pick up a pillow and throw it over your head onto a bed. All of those things help to release those energies, and that'll offer you more clarity. I'm saying yes to your soul. We cycle in awareness, experience, choice. Awareness, experience, choice. Right now we are in an awareness month. July will be an experience, and August will be a choice. And each time we hit a choice month, we have the opportunity to say yes to our soul. We have an opportunity to say yes to the greater reason why why we were birthed on this planet in form. And each time you say yes to that, you're saying yes to a higher frequency. Each time you give yourself more compassion and love, you're saying yes to a higher dimension. The 5th dimension is all about compassion. The 7th is releasing judgment. So as you lift or shift in consciousness and say yes to these things, they automatically offer you clarity, because they will heal anything that is of a lesser dimension or lesser experience. So those things all will offer you great clarity. Vision boards are wonderful. Sit down and put together a vision board of everything that you love, everything that you want to be, all your dreams, what you want to experience, how you see yourself. And that will bring about enormous clarity. I am in the middle of doing one of those of myself right now. And one of the oldest, one of the oldest tips, I guess, when I was going to college and I was in public relations, Student Society of America, and some of these clubs where we were learning how to go out into the world and do a great resume and how to get the perfect job. One of the tips back then, to dress like the person that you want to be, dress for success, right? So I would say the same thing about clarity. I would say, and it's not just clarity, it's anything. If you want to become a clairvoyant, hang around somebody who is clairvoyant. If you want to be very trusting, hang around someone who also is very trusting. If you want to be courageous, hang with courageous people. Because what happens is when two people come together, or their energy fields combine, and you get the gift of their cultivation. So whatever it is they've cultivated within them, you will then activate it within you as well. The experience where you've, been around some musicians, and then you've come home and, geez, I feel like playing one of my instruments that I've for a long time. Well, that's a product of hanging around people who are doing something that have energy, and you've kind of are sharing it in with them for a while. So the same thing goes with clarity. If you hang around somebody who is really clear, you will have more clarity yourself. I've seen times in like group meditation experiences where I've taken people into, and some of the answers will often be, normally I can't see myself in these settings, but today I could. And that's because the people that aren't clear are getting the benefit from those that are clear. And now they're having the opportunity to experience what it's like to have more clarity. For living space clean, crystal clear, clean. Have lots of, I keep a bowl of water with amethyst crystals in it in my bedroom. I have flowing because that flowing water will help keep your energy flowing. Clean underneath your bed, make sure it's clear. If there's things under your bed, intentional things, because in your sleep state, you are more vulnerable. You've got things in your energy field with your guard down. And so you want to keep that clear so your dreams are clear. And so the more that you can keep clean or where you live clean, the more you will be. Clean out those closets, clean out those drawers, give things away, so whatever you have to do, that all helps to offer you greater clarity. And that brings me to the crystals. There are beautiful crystals that assist with this. Amethyst, for one, is really great at transmuting lower energies. I know that when I was going through my divorce experience, I had a big amethyst ring on. And by the end of the divorce, that amethyst ring was black. It was no longer purple. And so that's what amethyst can do in your house. And quartz crystals, I would get as clear of crystals as you can. Really nice water clear if you can. I can share that I did a San Pedro journey when I was in Ecuador, and the person that I journeyed with had this huge clear crystal quartz point. I've never seen anything so water clear. I thought it was fake, and it wasn't. And I spent a lot of time focusing and looking into this crystal. And that energy was with me for probably 3 months afterwards. I came back and everything I bought was white. The clarity was so brilliant because I had spent so much time focusing on this crystal clear quartz that literally I became it for a period of time. So having any of those things around you are lovely for assistance. And the plant medicines. I've tried a couple of them, and the amount of healing that they offer naturally, any healing you do brings you greater clarity. So I'm going to read a couple of these messages. Hi, Geri. Love to you as well. Thank you. And Pauline, hello. Glad you guys are all here. Thank you for being here. And so I just want to share, clarity is a few things. Clarity is joy. I think so much of our time is spent trying to figure out what to do, when to do, how to do it. And you get tangled up in those decisions. When clarity is there, you just do because you flow, because you know what needs to be done. And that's where great joy comes in. And clarity is also flow. And it is also your abundance, your monetary abundance, and not only monetary, but abundance, period, is directly tied to your clarity. So it is all of those things. And because I'm talking about clarity right now, it begs me to do a Cards of Clarity reading. And I don't think, I think I'll just pull probably one card, but I have a fun little story to share as well. I do what are called soul chart readings based on ascended numerology. I've been doing them for a while, and they are brilliant at offering clarity. They're absolutely brilliant because you might, like I noticed, as I go through life, I have a certain amount of experiences, certain things happen in a way, and I can observe other people and wonder, well, why don't they have to do it? They can do things this way and this happens for them, but I have to do it this way. Why? What is it that makes me different from them? Well, that's where the soul chart reading comes in. And so they are brilliant at offering clarity. I can't tell you how much clarity I got about me, my journey, my life, my purpose by learning the process and giving myself a reading. So I had a mother and daughter visit me for a reading this past week, and it was beautiful. And their whole reading was really that they came to mirror each other. And at the end of the reading, I asked them, how do you feel? What did this offer you? And the answer was they felt great, and it offered them clarity. And so I thought that was beautiful. So I had the daughter first, I shuffled my cards of clarity and asked her to pull a card of the deck, and she pulled the clarity card. And then I shuffled up the whole deck again and had the mother pick a card. She also picked the clarity card. So it was beautiful because once again, they mirrored each other, which was what their whole reading was about. So I wanted to share that because it's about really the clarity of a soul chart reading and how beautiful these cards are. So I'm going to shuffle these and pull a card for all of us and see what we have. Love the cards too, Batya. Yeah, these cards are awesome. So here's the one. Here's the one and only. Ah, yes, it's Master Lanto. Can't see it too well, Master Lanto. Kind of reflecting. But Master Lanto is all about flow, which is tied to the sacral chakra, all about flow. And I'm going to read Ascended Master 5, Master Lanto. So this is for everyone that's listening now, everyone that's listening later. We got a great card, Master Lanto. You are divinely inspired. How often do you have a wonderful idea or creation that comes to mind and do not act on it? Your soul is seeking to express its truth as an illumination of all the love that is. To be fully illuminated is an expression of action in a world that is in constant motion. Your divine inspiration abounds at this time, and you are being supported to not hold back on bringing it into form. Take a moment and appreciate the sun. Feel its warmth and appreciate that its presence creates food, shelter, shade, and more. Then begin to allow this illumination to radiate through you and as you. Experience yourself as a divine creator, and from this space, call forth your inspiration and delight in the reconnection that has been established. So, love Master Lanto. That was a great reading. And before I say goodbye, I want to remind everyone about two events. We have World Unity Week coming up this week, June 18th through the 25th. And so if you have not registered, please do. You can go to Unity Week. Let me see. It's Unity Week World. No, World Unity Week. Sorry, World Unity week.org and sign up. Fabulous going on. This is a key energetic time for humanity. It's an important time for all of us to come together. This is going to initiate in the 99 days of peace. So we need people there as we possibly can. I will be there. I will be in Mexico. We'll be from Mexico live. So again, go to worldunityweek.org and sign up for that. And then also lineage gathering coming up July 13th and 28th. And if you feel that you are a lineage holder, you came here with a greater purpose, you came to transmute the energies backwards, you know that all the experiences you're going through don't seem just like they're yours, they seem bigger. You're probably a lineage holder, and we need you. We're all coming together to offer humanity some balance. So go to Shri, SRI, and AND, Kira, KIRA.com, and sign up for the 2 lineage hold gatherings that are going to happen in July. So that is it today, everyone. Have a fabulous day. Thank you all for jumping into the chat and saying hi. It was great to connect with everyone. Have a fabulous week. Namaste.